Hello, GT fans. We're back. It's another weekly predictions. I'm feeling all right. I did horrible last week. Surprise, surprise. It's what happens when you have all these upsets. I went 4-12 last week in my predictions. Currently 25, 23 on the year. Still above 500, but still, that's not where you want to be. But alas, it's time to do these predictions, and so here we go. For tonight's Thursday night game, Detroit at Green Bay. What a fantastic game to give us on prime time, I think. Green Bay had that nice comeback win against the Saints last week, and Detroit really, helped stop Atlanta. I'm going to still take. I think I'm. History says I take Green Bay. But Detroit says, really gets me thinking otherwise. And so I'm going to take, I'm taking Detroit. Taking them 21-17. But realistically, I should be taking Green Bay. But now I'm going to take that. Anyway, up next, London game, 9:30, Atlanta, Jacksonville. Our first international. This is also being streamed on Disney Plus as like a Toy Story exclusive type thing. Quite interesting. We'll see how it goes. But no, Jacksonville's second home is kind of London, so I'm kind of going to choose them here to bounce back, especially after losing to the Texans. They took two bad losses, especially when people had high hopes for them. And Atlanta took a bad loss to Detroit last week, but Jacksonville always plays well in London, so I'm going to take Jacksonville there. So yeah, give me Jacksonville, 24-14. Up next, Miami Buffalo. This should be Sunday Night Football. It's not, but it should. This should be a primetime game. This is going to be a bloodbath. We just had Miami, who just put up like 70 points up against the Broncos defense, who everyone claimed was to be phenomenal. They ain't now, but put this in there. I'm choosing. See, Miami's kind of the team to beat right now, and if anyone can do it, it'd be Buffalo. But I still think Buffalo's still struggling. I don't know if they have the necessary answers for Miami yet. In terms of, especially with a healthy Tua. Healthy Tua is is definitely a reason why this team is gonna be good. That being said, I'm gonna take Miami. I think it's gonna be a close battle. I think it's gonna be a close, somewhat lower scoring, 27-24. It's gonna come down to the wire, but I trust Miami in this one. Up next, we have our first battle of the losers here. Detroit and Chicago, not Detroit and Chicago. That is the second one, but the first one's Minnesota and Carolina. Minnesota is probably the best 0-3 team to I've ever seen. They have no defense, but they have an offense, and Carolina has a decent defense, nothing terrible, but their offense is okay. It's just kind of a gaggle of old veterans there. That being said, I still like Minnesota. I think Minnesota actually wins it. I think it's going to come down to I think it's going to be 33-27. I think there'll be somewhat of a game, but I think Minnesota pulls it out. I just like their offense. I think they have the third best offense in the league currently. So, yeah. Up next, the other mid-fest, Denver, Chicago. The jokes are this is a game that should end in a tie. This is pretty much the Caleb Williams Bowl. Whoever wins this gets Caleb Williams. This is gonna be a Justin Fields legacy game where he rushes for 2 touchdowns and then he passes 2 touchdowns and the final score is gonna be like 14-14. But no, I mean, Denver just let up 70 points, right? Chicago just let up like 41 or something like points to the Chiefs. Honestly, I'm choosing Denver. I know they just lost by 70. This is a team where I trust the quarterback more, and we're in a league where you need to have somewhat of a trusted quarterback if you're gonna do well. I'm not saying Russell Wilson is now some great quarterback. He used to be, But I'm saying that, in the time, Justin Fields is not a good quarterback whatsoever. So I will take the guy like Russell Wilson over him. So give me Denver and Chicago. Give me Denver by 17-10. I don't know. Next up, Baltimore Cleveland. What a great divisional matchup. This is like Cleveland's third divisional matchup by 4 weeks. So they were definitely getting like a gauntlet going with the divisional matchups, which is good for them. So it means they only have half left, which means they were just effectively probably going to get two towards the middle, and then they're going to play whoever they play week 18. So realistically, they're kind of set compared to the rest of the division who hasn't played as many. Pittsburgh's only played one. Baltimore, I think this is their second one. Second? Yeah, it's their second one because they played Cincinnati already. So, it's at Cleveland. Cleveland looked kind of phenomenal against the Titans, especially without Nick Chubb. You definitely got to see Deshaun Watson's definitely came back a little bit. I like to see that continue against the division rival in Baltimore first before we really say he's back. Especially because everyone's saying now that since he's not really playing well, that Baltimore is going to be the team to beat. And like I can, I can see Cleveland beating Baltimore. They actually tend to do so from weirdness. Like, so I'm gonna choose Cleveland to beat Baltimore in a 24-21 game. Just a simple, a nice little game to refresh. All right, next up we have Pitt Houston. Houston looked phenomenal against the Jags. C.J. Stroud is looking like he could be a fantastic quarterback in this league. The Steelers surprised me, actually won a game on West Coast and actually finally beat the Raiders in the Raiders' home since 1996. So we kind of chill there. Houston, the Steelers have kind of always owned. Never really been a moment where Houston's really been good. I'm sure there's, they beat us in games, it happens. You're going to, but Pittsburgh's been pretty good both at Houston and in Pittsburgh versus Houston. So I'm going to stick with the Steelers. If the offense can do what they did last week and make things difficult and the pass rush can make things difficult for Stroud, I think the Steelers definitely can win this. And I think it's going to be like a 28-21 game in Pittsburgh's favor. So, all right, next up, the Rams at the Colts. The Colts, I don't know if Richardson's back or not. I want to say he is, but I'm not too sure. If not, Minshew. I'm going with Minshew again. Hey, it worked once, might as well work again. The Rams kind of, I think people figured out the Rams a little bit with their offense and their scheme, because they didn't look too good going versus the Bengals. Bengals didn't look too good either, but the Rams didn't look too good then as well. So I'm going to choose the Colts. I like the Colts a little bit more, so I'm going to take the Colts here. 28-24. Give me Indianapolis. All right, next up, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. New Orleans has always some way beat the Bucks in the regular season, and then they could lose to them. They can play them 3 times and they'll lose them the third time when it counts. But yeah, I choose New Orleans in this game. I don't really care. I think it's going to be like 12-6. Be a low scoring game, but New Orleans will win this game. That's just how it goes. Next up, Cincinnati, Tennessee. After this might be honestly the perfect matchup for Cincy to really get back into it. Like, yeah, you got the win, so you got motivation boosted when you beat the Rams. Really get this season going 2-2 instead of going 1-3. Because look, the AFC North going to be competitive even if so you can always come back. But doing so would be very good, especially when Cleveland and Baltimore play each other. They go and one of them's taking as a loss, so you can always use that as motivation to get back up there. And Pittsburgh's there, so you're confident you can beat Pittsburgh out in the long term. So coming down to it, Tennessee's been kind of buns. This is the perfect way to ease Joe Burrow back, especially now that his leg's a little bit injured. Even if you say you put up by half, it's like 21-3. Maybe you put him out there one drive, they scores another touchdown. It's 28-3 now. Sorry, Falcons fans, didn't want to bring that up. Anyway, but then you pull him out for the backup quarterback, run the ball, take out some clock, kick a field goal or two, and you'll be good. I mean, this is the perfect time, and realistically, that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call a 33 to 10 football game with Cincinnati's favorite. All right, up next, Vegas and Chargers. Chargers finally got their first win of the season against Chargers got their first win of the season. They play Minnesota. They look like they're going to lose that game. Honestly, that game looked like everybody wanted to lose. So, yeah, and the Vegas, they're going to want to come back, especially after losing at home to a visiting Steelers who have never beat you in your home since the 90s. So, they're going to want to go into LAC, into South Oakland, if you want to say it. Or I guess South Vegas now, if you want to call it like that, whatever. Go to LA and essentially take over and make it like a Raiders home game, like they always do. Because that's just no one cares about LA football outside of maybe the owners. I think the Raiders win this. The Chargers are kind of mid. It's sad. They have such a decent roster, but terrible coaching, and that kind of plays bad out to you. So give me the Vegas Raiders and a nice score of 28-17. All right, up next, New England Dallas. Give me Dallas to bounce back. Don't get me wrong. I think New England can easily, especially if they run the football. I mean, the Cardinals just beat Dallas, but I think Dallas is going to learn from their mistakes. Realize, okay, yeah, we just lost to the team that was projected to go 0-17. Let's fix their stuff. Figure out how we can go do this without our guy and go forth. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be 21-17. But that's what I'm choosing. I'm choosing Dallas to beat New England. Next up, Niners, Arizona. Niners. You think 70-0 is gonna 70-20 was like that? I would expect a similar score with the Niners and Cardinals in the Niners face. I'm just gonna do like 50-0 again because that's what I liked. But yeah, give me San Fran. All right, Sunday Night Football. Kansas City, New York Jets. Kansas City is gonna win this. This should not be Sunday Night Football. This is a terrible game. I get it. You made this Sunday night because you figured Aaron Rodgers would get that. And if Aaron Rodgers was here, I would so be in love with that. But because he's not there, this is just a stupid game. You should kind of flex it out. But this is a Kansas City 33-10 game. This is disgusting. This is going to be slaughter. Even with the Jets defense, their Jet defense can only do so much. So yeah. And then next up, Monday Night Football. Only one Monday night game. Seattle and the Giants. I like Seattle. I think Seattle's going to do that. I think they're definitely cruising in a little bit, getting comfortable, which is nice. New York Jets are just, they've played, kind of a rocky start. They don't look like the playoff Jets. It kind of looks like their success is kind of been lowered down slightly. So I'm going to take Seattle in a 28-20 game. And yeah, that's it. I hope I definitely improve 100%. Honestly, if I go 100 tonight, I'll be lit. But that's how I'm feeling. So yeah, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. This is the GT Show signing off.